This is CNN International.
This week on Earth Matters, a Hollywood star takes on small-town Kentucky.
Hello, Sheriff. I'm planting industrial hemp here.
Hemp is considered marijuana, and marijuana is illegal.
Industrial hemp. Is it a drug or an alternative form of farming? With Britain's handover of Hong Kong to China, many people are fearing for the territory's future. But some environmentalists say they're actually... Welcome back. A cash crop is causing a national drug debate with environmentalists on one side and law enforcement on the other. It all boils down to three little letters, THC. Peggy Knapp has this special report.
Free at last from every mountainside. Free at last, let freedom ring. Free at last, the truth shall make us free.
For months, Donna Cockrell has been fighting for her right to teach.
My dream is to be what? A doctor. You want to be a doctor, you can do it.
Our story begins with a seed.
It was a witch hunt. It has been a witch hunt all year long.
And grows into a drug controversy. All over a plant, and the right to show it, sow it, and grow it.
Hemp is a crop. It is not a drug.
Hemp is considered marijuana, and marijuana is illegal.
And this teacher's life will never be the same.
You look like Woody Harrelson. Oh my God.
It all began when actor Woody Harrelson came to Shelby County, Kentucky.
We want to get industrial hemp legalized for farmers to grow. Everything I'm wearing is hemp. What do you know about industrial hemp?
He invited the media along.
Take it, baby, now. Take it, baby.
How does this look? I'm relatively new at farming.
He came to get arrested.
It's a pick or a hoe?
Don't you know the difference?
Not for impersonating a farmer, but for the seeds he's planting.
Woody, are you taking this seriously
You
at
take your
all?
life too seriously. You're never going to get out of it alive.
He's testing a law.
We'd like to report a crime in progress.
Hello, Sheriff. I'm planting industrial hemp here.
The sheriff calls it a crime.
You realize you're under arrest?
Yes, sir.
What's your name?
I represent Mr. Harrelson.
You're not
Actor?
How many Oscars have you won?
Well, none. But we're doing the right thing.
We're doing the right thing.
The right thing for Woody Harrelson is to make the courts recognize a difference between industrial hemp and marijuana.
Free at last! Free at last!
Let's join hands. We are creative.
Donna teaches 5th grade. She's a farmer's daughter who's won awards for teaching agriculture.
Who do we have? Woody! Who do we have? Woody!
This is so great.
It's a sustainable crop that can supplement tobacco. And so this is what I'm teaching in my classroom here in Kentucky. That if kids can be aware of both sides of the issues, then they can become decision makers and become citizens who enforce the law and also create the law-making body. Can you jump? Let's see if you can get it.
The day before his arrest, Woody came to Donna's class with other activists to talk about industrial hemp.
Now, that's why I'm into the issue of industrial hemp, because I think it has a myriad of uses, as well as an alternative to petroleum products.
The students learned that hemp could be used as an alternative to cotton and wood.
Everything I'm wearing is hemp. The possibilities for hemp are really endless, and of course the paper that you have there is made from hemp.
And Woody chose Kentucky because of its history with hemp. Signs on the local highways, roads, and churches show it was once Kentucky's biggest cash crop. Kentucky was the nation's top hemp producer until the passage of the Marijuana Stamp Act in 1937. And during World War II, the U.S. government made this film.
Hemp for mooring ships. Hemp for victory.
But now it's all illegal, even the seeds. And that's what got Donna in trouble.
Why were you so upset by this?
Audrey Yeager is a Shelby County deputy sheriff.
Well, for one thing, industrial hemp, or hemp, let's use hemp, is considered marijuana. And marijuana is illegal.
But Audrey Yeager took it in our face that we were promoting dope. And I never promote dope to children. I have never done it in my life. And the hemp seeds that were passed around the classroom, they're drug-free.
Activists say hemp and marijuana are as different as popcorn and corn whiskey. Same plant, different use. The critical difference is in the amount of THC, the chemicals that make marijuana a drug.
It's marijuana. Any way you look at it, it's marijuana.
These are pretty healthy plants.
State Police Sergeant James Tipton has been putting his life on the line to fight drugs for 24 years.
The crops that are grown are going to have high-grade marijuana mixed in with it.
He believes industrial hemp would just make the drug grower's job easier.
It would be a nightmare. I just don't believe it would work. They already move in on people's property and do this. Can you imagine what they would do if they had camouflage available to them? Low THC marijuana would be the best camouflage they could dream of.
The two sides of the issue collided on the day of Woody's visit.
Well, I don't understand. What do you mean? Graduation for DARE.
We get a trophy for being drug-free.
Donna's students were celebrating their graduation from a drug awareness program called DARE. Simpsonville Elementary Principal Bruce Slate declined to be interviewed, but did read from a prepared statement.
I believe it is potentially confusing to the students to celebrate saying no to drugs on the same day that a group of people visit to promote hemp.
I was upset with her bringing it into the classroom, and to me, I felt like she was trying to be sneaky about it because she knew it was not right.
Audrey complained to the county sheriff.
I'm a law officer. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to go around saying, yeah, that's great, hey man, let's get some hemp growing here? I disagree with it.
Hemp hysteria grew.
And they scandalized my name. They defamed my character.
The county superintendent recommended the state board revoke Donna's license.
The Shelby County school officials, and I do not disapprove of Ms. Cockrell teaching about hemp per se. Rather, we've been concerned about the methods Ms. Cockrell has used to present issues regarding hemp to her students.
The school system has let me down. I feel like there's no more support in the community where I'm presently teaching.
After months of wondering if she would lose her job, Donna finally got word that charges against her had been dropped.
And I tell you what, since that time, I have become a pro-hemp activist.
At least 3 states have passed legislation to do research on industrial hemp. At least 9 others, including Kentucky, have legislation pending. A national debate has come to small-town Kentucky.
I'm not for industrial hemp, and I never will be, and I'm a farmer's daughter.
I believe that all children should say no to drugs, but I want them to say yes to the truth.
Woody's case is in state court after a lower court judge ruled that the definition of marijuana is overbroad. As hemp moves closer to its old Kentucky home, Donna says she'd like to join it in the history books.
I have decided to run for state senator in Kentucky because I feel that I am the voice for all the grassroots organizations who are not being heard.
This is just like the filing fee schedule, and for a state senator, it's $200.
And I would take a stand. I won't shut up. It won't go away. I'm here to stay, and I'm going to always continue to talk about hemp, industrial hemp.
For CNN Earth Matters, I'm Peggy Knapp.
In the United States, clinics dispensing marijuana to the chronically sick and terminally ill are opening across California, despite strong objections from the federal government. The authorities in Washington say the practice will deepen the country's drugs problem and benefit the smuggling barons. But as our correspondent Brian Barron has been finding out, many experts in California claim the medicinal benefits of the marijuana plant have been overlooked.
Under federal law, this man could be branded a criminal for possessing and distributing marijuana. But under California state law, he's an AIDS patient whose doctor prescribes the drug.
Medical marijuana has a place in pain management. It has qualities about it that relieves pain and suffering in a whole array of diseases.
The first of over 40 clinics and clubs is the Santa Clara Cannabis Center, whose 150 patients receive their marijuana once weekly. Don Altier, stricken with an incurable disease 5 years ago, attributes his survival until now to marijuana.
Gives me an out, a way out of the constant pain, maybe depression, keeps me on a positive level going forward and able to concentrate on living rather than sit there and go, oh, I'm dying, I'm slowly being paralyzed and there's no hope.
California's narcotics officers still warn of the drug's dangerous side effects, but now accept that for some, it is medicine.
Being a police officer, I do understand that people have needs, and if this helps people in certain instances, so be it.
One of the largest farms is on a mountainside above the Pacific. It's a non-profit club which distributes plants for patients to grow themselves.
To be able to grow the plant and have a hand in your own healing, or in one's own healing, is greatly empowering and can be healing unto itself.
Though California state now tolerates marijuana being grown for medical use, the federal authorities still say it's illegal. Just a few months ago, federal drug agents raided one grower and destroyed all the marijuana. Their fear is that California's liberal approach will undermine America's war against drugs. Brian Barron, BBC News, Northern California.
A national newspaper's campaign to decriminalise cannabis has been labelled as irresponsible by the Home Secretary Jack Straw. The Independent on Sunday said it was hypocrisy to ban the drug while allowing the use of alcohol. But Mr. Straw said the effects of cannabis were not fully known and legalising it would betray the futures of many young people.
Cannabis is the most widely used illegal drug in the UK. 8 out of 10 people charged with drug offences have been using cannabis. Marijuana is the focus of 85% of drug seizures. Now, for the first time, a British newspaper is campaigning for the decriminalisation of cannabis, so its personal use is no longer an offence.
Even though we've studied this drug for a very, very long time and found that in fact it's far, far less harmful than, say, tobacco, or certainly a million times less harmful than alcohol, we're still making criminals out of people who choose occasionally to have a jolt.
Leading personalities who are backing the campaign include Labour MP Paul Flynn, entrepreneur Richard Branson, and the Body Shop's Anita Roddick. Film director Michael Winner is also calling for drug laws to be reformed.
Oh, great.
Well, first of all, at the moment, the man who sells kids cannabis also wants to sell them, and often does sell them, heroin. I see no reason in putting children in that danger.
But the campaign has angered many MPs and has been branded irresponsible by the Home Secretary.
One thing which would follow as night follows day is that consumption would shoot up. Now, we're in a situation where we already have difficulty in controlling the responsible use of the two sets of drugs which are legal, alcohol and tobacco.
There is concern that cannabis can lead to behavioural problems and lead to depression. It's also feared marijuana can lead to the use of stronger drugs such as cocaine or heroin. More than 20 million people under the age of 35 have smoked cannabis in the UK. It's estimated 1 in 10 become regular users. Alison Jack, Sky News.
Britain's drugs trade is reported to be worth £2.5 billion a year, with cannabis comprising the major part of it. Despite overwhelming backing from the British Medical Association for cannabis to be made available for medicinal use, official opposition persists to any relaxation of the law.
Every year, an estimated 360 tonnes of cannabis are smuggled into Britain, suggesting an annual turnover of around £2 billion. If the government legalised it, tax revenue alone would probably be as much as £500 million a year. It was banned in this country in 1926. By the late 60s, most countries had followed suit, but according to the Institute of Drug Dependency, there are still some 1.5 million regular users in Britain alone. Famous devotees have included cricketer Ian Botham and singer Paul McCartney, both arrested for possessing the drug. MP Claire Short said she favoured legalisation, and even President Clinton admitted to puffing the weed, although famously not to inhaling. In many parts of continental Europe, the drug is tolerated, at least for personal use. Spain, Italy and Germany all in effect turn a blind eye to people possessing small amounts. In Holland, the situation is far more open, with coffee houses in Amsterdam openly selling it. Elsewhere, climate permitting, cannabis crops often provide a major source of income. Up to 70% of hashish entering Britain is thought to originate from Morocco, and in Southeast Asia, hundreds of square miles are dedicated to growing it. Its medicinal properties have been well documented for thousands of years. Most British doctors now want it legalized to help those suffering from a variety of conditions. But despite the calls for a debate, any administration contemplating a change to the law would inevitably be accused of going soft on drugs, a charge no government is likely to find palatable. David Wade, Sky News.
At folk må få lov å røyke en tjall hvis de vil. Dette altså Oslo-tall, men kurvene peker i samme retning over hele landet. Og da spør jeg, hva det vi så positive til? Vet for eksempel ungdom hva cannabis Jeg tok med Filters lille herbarium til Dønski videregående skole i Bærum for å teste biologikunnskapene. Hva heter de forskjellige plantene her?
Ok. Det der sikkert løvblad, det ikke det? Det noe sånt noe. Og det der, det det som på de bladene der borte. Ja. Jo, vi ser det. Og det der, det ser ut som sånn der, hva heter det for noe? Hasj. Nei, det bjørk det. Bjørk det der.
Her et marihuanablad. Jep. Har du det? Ja, ja. Hvordan visste du det? For jeg har sett det på et CD-cover. Har du røyket det? Nei. Vil du? Nei. Hvorfor ikke? For jeg har det gøy med alkohol. Synes du det burde være lov å røyke det? Nei. Hvorfor ikke det? Fordi det skadelig. Det cannabisblad, det folk må få lov til å gjøre som de vil. Men hasj og marihuana dyrt. Så dyrt at mange plutselig blitt gartnere. Cannabisgartnere. Politiet i Oslo kommer i år til å doble beslagene av planter i forhold til i fjor. Vår cannabisdyrker har røyket marihuana halve livet i 18 år, og dyrker til eget bruk i stua si.
Du får tak i et frø, legger du det i våt bomull på et varmt sted, på badet for eksempel, dekker du til med dopapir eller bomull eller noe sånt. Så har du masse vann oppi, og så går det noen dager, og du begynner å skyte ut av det frøet.
Men synes du det å røyke marihuana burde bli en del av norsk kultur?
Ja, hvis du ser hvordan det nå, altså bygdefylla på landet, den noe skryt av liksom? Det et positivt trekk ved dette samfunnet? Jeg synes ikke det, altså jeg synes, det ingen grunn til at utlendinger sjokker over nordmenn når vi ser rundt i gaten i Oslo eller hvilken som helst by det ser hvordan nordmenn i fylla oppfører seg, de synes det barbarisk, ikke sant? Så hvis det kan gjøre noe med drikkekulturen til nordmenn, så synes jeg det har som plass. Da bør det være en del av norsk samfunn.
Du ikke for legalisering?
Nei, en av den grunnen at jeg tror det at folk kommer til å... Det for mange unger som kommer til å bli sløvinger, rett og slett.
Hvorfor sitter du og røyker marihuana nå?
Jeg skulle ut og gå på tur, tenkte jeg. Og da det får masse fine tanker og masse gode vibrasjoner når man er ute og går. Glad til sinns og godt humør, snill og god.
Det uklart om det lov å kjøpe cannabisfrø. Såpass tvil at politiet ikke beslaglegger frøene hos de butikkene som selger dem. Men i det øyeblikket planten din stikker opp av jorden, da har du brutt loven. I Oslo det likevel 3 butikker som selger alt du trenger for å gro dine egne planter.
Det kan man kjøpe da, lamper til, man kan kjøpe forskjellige grostoffer, pH-metere, EC-metere, man kan kjøpe klonemidler, man kan kjøpe pumper, man kan kjøpe drippers, man kan kjøpe blokker som brukes til å dyrke i. Som da dansk system, heter Grodan. Veldig kjent, veldig bra å dyrke i. Man har da selvfølgelig dyrkevann, såkalt gjødning.
I butikken får du også kjøpt 35 forskjellige typer spiredyktige frø, og hundrevis av hasjpiper, skillummer og vannpiper som jeg ikke får lov til å filme. Men cannabisfrø brukes også til andre ting enn til å plante.
Det hampefrø, marihuanafrø, sammen med solsikkefrø og peanøtter og mandler og honning. Det veldig sunt. Det brukes mot for eksempel hjerte- og karsykdommer. Så skal man spise dette. Det smaker veldig godt. Det honning. Det da compliments of Mama Indicas. Not for resale, står det. Selvfølgelig finnes det hampeburgere, som laget av hampefrø, og vi kommer med hampepizza og hampekaker. Marihuanafrø kan brukes til veldig mye. Så hamp, det liksom tingen. Det det man må dyrke, og det det man må lave klær av. Papir for eksempel. Da stopper jo all bruken av trær, hvis man kan få dyrke hamp. Slips har vi, vet du.
Ja, jeg har...
Slips har vi. Her kan man stille opp i selskap med skikkelig slips, lavet av hamp. 100% marihuana. Kan selvfølgelig ikke røykes, det står da tydelig på etiketten. Det står her, 100% hamp, 100% bomull. Må ikke røykes, håndvaskes i 30 grader. LSD skal man jo være litt forsiktig med, spør du meg. Det ikke akkurat noe man leker med. Derfor skal man ta det syntetisk. Plastikk sa du, ja, plastikk. Dette en LSD-simulator. Hvis det sol ute nå, så kan du få prøve den.
LSD-simulatoren var morsom den, men la LSD være LSD. Nå skal vi snakke om hasj og marihuana. Og Nikolai, hva en god hasjrus?
En god hasjrus, da blir du avslappet fysisk, og samtidig psykisk får du sterkere sanseinntrykk, og musikk blir ofte bedre, og får en nærhet og kontakt med mennesker rundt deg.
Og hvis Nikolai får det som han vil, så blir denne rusen helt lovlig. Røyker du mye selv, eller?
Røyker for mye? Jeg vet ikke. Nei. Jeg røyker akkurat så mye som jeg har lyst til.
Hvor mye det?
Tja, det varierer veldig. Det kommer an på sosiale sammenhengen og det med samme. Om jeg jobber eller om jeg har fritid.
Og du altså med i denne organisasjonen som heter Normal, Norsk organisasjon for revurdering av marihuana-lovgivningen.
Ja, det stemmer det.
Hva gjør dere for noe?
Vi jobber for at det skal bli legalisert, at mennesker skal få lov til å røyke den hasjen de ønsker å røyke. At de ikke skal forfølge brukere, det ikke noe poeng i. Og hvis de ønsker å dyrke hjemme, så må de få lov til å gjøre det.
Og hvordan jobber dere?
Vi samler medlemmer, vi har ca. 800 medlemmer over hele landet. Og ja, vi prøver å påvirke, blant annet med å være sånn sted som dette her. Og skrive leseninnlegg og informasjonsmateriell og internett og lignende.
Og hva skjer på møtene deres?
På møtene sitter vi og prater stort sett og planlegger det vi skal gjøre. Men det flat struktur, da. Vi gjør det vi har lyst til å gjøre. Det vi flinke til å gjøre, det gjør vi.
Og siden det flat struktur, så du her. Du hverken leder eller talsperson eller noe sånt, men
jeg bare et vanlig medlem.
En av medlemmene. Og dere vil altså legalisere hasj, marihuana og hampprodukter av medisinske, miljømessige, industrielle eller personlige årsaker, som det heter. Og hvis vi tar de personlige årsakene først, hvorfor vil du ha det legalisert?
Så jeg kan få lov til å røyke selv, det synes jeg greit, og så de jeg kjenner skal få lov til å røyke. Ja, det ikke noe poeng å straffe disse menneskene, det ikke noe poeng at politiet skal sløse ressursene sine på å forfølge mennesker som ikke skader andre i hele tatt, rett og slett.
Hva det så bra med marihuana da?
Tja, det min personlige valg at jeg ønsker å røyke hasj i stedet for å drikke alkohol, for eksempel.
Synes du synd på hasjrøykerne?
Nei, overhodet ikke. Det ikke noe synd på mennesker som... Det vanlige mennesker som har valgt et annet rusmiddel, rett og slett.
Men som Mari sa i innledningen her, jeg helt enig med henne, det forferdelig kjedelig å sitte på en fest hvor alle røyker tjall, hvis man ikke gjør det selv.
Ja, så røyk selv, det vet ikke.
Trenger vi et rusmiddel til? Altså ungdommen utsettes for alkohol nå, trenger vi et til?
Rusmiddelet jo der allerede, og folk røyker hvis de ønsker å gjøre det. Det jo praktisk talt legalisert. Hvis du ønsker å få tak, så får du tak i det. Det bare spørsmål om vi skal gidde å sløse ressurser på å forfølge disse menneskene, da, som egentlig bare tilhører en annen kultur, rett og slett.
Men dere mener at dette her også miljøvennlig, og det betyr jo at dere opptatt av hva bonden dyrker på jordene sine, virker det som.
Nei, vi synes bonden skal få lov til å dyrke hamp hvis han ønsker å gjøre det. Det så enkelt.
Men hvorfor får dere ikke med bøndene da? Jeg ringte både Norsk Bondelag og Norsk Bonde- og Småbrukarlag i går, og de har aldri hørt om dere engang.
Ja, det må vi kanskje ta selvkritikk for. Vi burde kanskje kontaktet dem og informert dem om hamp sine nytteområder. Men i EU for eksempel så det jo lov, og det en sterk vekstindustri også.
Og medisinske årsaker. Hva det som gjør en 19-åring veldig opptatt av medisin?
Tja, altså, det kan jo hjelpe de menneskene som kan brukes som medisin, og det burde være lovlig til det. Det klart, hvis syke mennesker ønsker har behov for medisin, så burde de få lov til det.
Når blir det legalisert?
Når det blir legalisert, forhåpentligvis med årene, jeg vet ikke, nei, par år tror jeg. Par år.
Takk for at du kom.